Safetyman here, safetyman.co or at safetymanco on all social media. Today we're going to talk about another thing that I feel is going to keep you safe, both physically and legally and morally. Those are always my three criteria for everything that I coach my clients in. Today we're going to talk about texting and driving. The number one reason we don't want to do that is why? It's illegal. You can get a ticket. It's a primary violation. A police officer can see you manipulating your phone, pull you over, and issue a motor vehicle summons for it. We don't want that. Officers don't like to do that, but they also don't like investigating crashes where there are injuries and it's related to distracted driving, specifically texting. So, as I said, that divides your attention. Everybody thinks that they can glance down at that phone for a couple of seconds, answer a text, update a Facebook, send a Snapchat, or do something silly like that, and it not affect their driving or their ability to pay attention to their vehicle operation, the road, and the road ahead, and plan on what they're going to do next. So it definitely divides your attention when you're doing that. It's an obvious distraction. Obvious distraction. Just think about it. If somebody's sitting next to you in a car and you're having a conversation and they see that you're trying to pay attention to look for an address or an exit off a highway, they'll be quiet and they may even try to help you. But if you're on that phone talking and driving, that person's not going to be aware of your divided attention, and you're going to have a psychological force to try to maintain both sides of your brain working. One, to drive safely and find your exit or avoid distractions, and two, to maintain that normal conversation flow. Okay? We want to talk about the different amount of real estate that your vehicle travels when you're not paying attention. So at about 30 to 40 miles an hour, in about 2 seconds, your vehicle could travel several hundred feet. So just picture a child, another car, something comes into your path of travel, and you're down for 2 seconds, and 100, 200 feet later, you're smashing into something. If it's a car, maybe minimal injuries. It's going to be a lot of money. If it's a person, we know that could probably be a fatality, if not serious bodily injury. Okay? So it takes a long time for reaction time. One of the best reaction time studies they ever did said it's about 3/4 of a second of reaction time from the time you see a distraction, a threat, or something that's causing you to have to stop or take evasive maneuver. It's going to take you about 3/4 of a second. So we just said it about 40 miles an hour, you could travel several hundred feet. So in that 3/4 of a second, how many feet do you think you could travel at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour? You're on a highway and everybody's doing 70. You look down, hit that text, update your GPS, look up, and all you see is brake lights and boom, you smash into that vehicle in front of you, and that's it. You can get hurt. The people in front of you can get hurt. And guess whose fault that crash is? 100% yours for following too closely, distracted driving, careless driving, and operating a mobile device while driving. You don't want to do that, okay? So it's going to distract your ability to take evasive maneuvers in enough time to avoid a collision or a crash, okay? Then you add into potential weather conditions. That's going to make it even worse. We know how hard it is to brake when the water's wet, especially in that first hour of rain. We have what's called viscous pacing. All the oil that's on the road sits on top of the water and floats, and it makes stopping quickly very difficult. It makes maneuvering your vehicle to avoid a distraction very difficult. That's called viscous pacing. That's one of the most dangerous times. It's almost as slick as ice when we're doing that. And finally, we want to talk about your specific driving ability. We all know if we're good drivers or bad drivers. Your friends probably cringe. They hold on to that bar up in the air. They brake and hold things when you're supposed to be braking. If you're a young driver, you do not want to be distracted by your phone. You even want your friends in the back of the car to shut up when you're a young, very experienced driver. We don't need anything to do that. If you don't believe what I'm saying, or if you want something to prove to a friend, a family member who continually is driving distracted, there's a great book called The Invisible Gorilla. The Invisible Gorilla. It's on Audible, so you can listen to it in your car. You can actually read a hardcover of it. It talks about how we give our brain and our senses way more credit that they can multitask than they can. And our brains really cannot multitask. They really operate like iPhone. They do fast app switching. You pay attention to this, When you're done with that, you then pay attention to this. You cannot give 100% attention to two things at the same time. You just can't. Look at an NFL quarterback. He's trying to read the receivers and he gets blindside sacked or he throws an interception because there's a linebacker coming across. He should be able to see that. He's trained. He's got one job, yet they still mess up. Don't put yourself in danger physically. Don't put yourself in danger financially. And don't put yourself in danger morally by driving distracted. That's Safety Man's tip of the day. Stay safe, stay ready, and go to survivaltacticscourse.com. Survivaltacticscourse.com. I have 4 Navy SEALs, a Marine, 2 Rangers. One is a Ranger Army medic that's going to come and teach us knowledge, skills, and ability combined with my expertise in Attorney General's use of force policy to make sure that we teach you morally, legally, and tactically sound skills to protect you and your family in the event that sudden violence comes your way. Survivaltacticscourse.com. Stay safe and be ready.